Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more Enigmatica 2 Expert mod pack for Minecraft 1.12.2. So at the end of last episode we had set up our metal press from Immersive Engineering. I did cozy it up a bit, added in some more bricks so it looks more supported and solid. I put in some backlighting. One of the problems, I'm still sort of new at all this, but when I made the first one in my trial run for this mod pack, I had a tendency to forget which mold I had left in here. So right now that's the plate one. So I'd accidentally leave the gear one in there, and since it was down at floor level, I couldn't really see it that well. So I've got it up in the air a bit. I've got some covered things here because another problem I had when it was lower and when I was standing in it is I would put ingots in here and then I would suck them off the line back into my inventory. So now that it's higher and has a covered conveyor belt, it won't do that. So yeah, I think that's looking good. This whole area is starting to look sort of cozy and base-like. In this episode, we want to bust out a bunch more machines. We've got power set up and plenty of it for Tech 1 at least. And so we are going to add some Mekanism machines here and try and get moving on some even more high-tech stuff. So I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to gather the materials I need to start building machines, and then we'll come back and start making some and looking at what loot chests we unlock. Be right back. Alright, so the first little chore we're running into is that we're going to need to make some more rubber. I did collect some trees an episode or two ago, and I have them growing. So I've made myself a bunch of tree taps here, and we're going to run out there and get those. Hopefully this will be, close to the last batch of rubber we have to make. I don't know exactly how much it takes to get places, but when I was playing around with this before, it seemed like a lot of things could be used with plastic instead or through the latex extractor process. So I just vein mined all the leaves and picked up 8 rubber tree saplings. Now I'm going to just beat on these. You can get extra ones out even if it's not ripe, so we actually got, a nice little bunch out of there. So that was 6. And we did sort of destroy the sort of rubber node, or whatever you would call it, on this one. But since I don't really probably need tons and tons of rubber, I'm just going to take the, just going to go ahead and work it for all it's worth. And then take down the wood and use the wood in my latex extraction process. So take that. So I'm going to finish gathering this up, and then we will move on to whatever next thing we need to get this taken care of. So we will jump to that. Alright, we were able to get 44 rubber. From those, there was 10 trees there, 9 of which had grown. So 9 trees, plus as I was replanting, 2 grew really quick. So, about 11 trees, got 44 rubber, and also kept the wood to use in the latex extraction process for plastic and more rubber. And so we cooked the resin into rubber, and were able to make, one of the things we needed to do was make the Batbox and tin cables for Industrialcraft. we really want to head sort of through these at least 4 machines ASAP, because a compressor is used in damn near everything. But the Batbox is sort of it's a capacitor, collector, battery, energy cell, whatever you want to call it. It basically accumulates power and stores it, and so that's good. We want to have one of those. And so we got that and made got the loot box. So let's take a look at what's in the loot box. Loot chest. We got a floppy disk for open computers. So I have no clue about open computers. I don't think we're going to need that until later, until we plug it in. I know we've got now a couple of pieces from that mod, but I don't think it does much for us until we get some more automation and some more advanced technology going. So let's see, next we want to work on the generator. That's going to be some iron plates, etc., etc. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8 iron plates. Looks like from an iron standpoint, it's going to be cheaper to turn a furnace into an iron furnace and then use this top recipe. So I'm going to gather the things up for that, and we'll make this, and we'll see what we get from the loot chest. Be right back. Although now that I think about it, I don't think we've shown this bad boy in action. So I double check. Yep, I've got my plate mold on there. I'm going to throw 8 iron ingots in there. And ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. We have 8 iron plates. So obviously that's a lot faster than pouring them out into this cast right here. So this cast right here is officially retired. So let's see, we'll go ahead and we are making the iron furnace. So we got that. And then we are making the, what's it called again? The generator. So that would be this one. So I need another one of these, and so we need another one of these. And some more of these. We can make that and that, and I won't make you sit through all of the crafting that I'm going to do today, but I just want to show you sort of some of the things, some of the components that we're ending up making to in Industrialcraft. So we got the generator, lovely. Lapis is all right. That's interesting. That is sort of a pretty block. How many did we get of them? 4 of them. So if nothing else, that's 36 lapis if I break them down. That's sort of a nice looking block. I might see if I can use that for some decoration somewhere, unless I need to cannibalize it. So one thing is we've got some power going. We've got some RF generation from our Immersive Engineering thermoelectric generators, which are surrounded by packed ice and uranium for hot and cold gradient. And we've got a little nuclear power from plutonium RTG made out of some plutonium-238 we stole from a dragon. However, Industrialcraft works on EU. And so even though we now have this capacitor that will store up to 40,000 EU, and we've got some machines coming from Industrialcraft, we can't run them off of this power. I think later on there are some cables or various various like power sources that will auto-convert between RF and EU, but I do not think that this will put out any EU right at the moment. So we're going to have to probably go ahead and I sort of left the middle of this room open on purpose so that we can maybe just set up a stripe of Industrialcraft stuff. So for right this moment, I'm going to put this generator here, and I don't know. I can't remember how these like to connect up, but I'm just going to start making some Industrialcraft here in the middle. We'll have an Industrialcraft island going on here. So as we make these, we can either use those 10 cables or some other type of cabling to put them together. But for the generator, we might just pull some of our huge stack of charcoal out and do that. In fact, let's just try that right now. See if we can start loading up this Batbox with energy. So if I put that in there, hey, power's going to the Batbox. So we're going to go ahead and load up that 40,000 Q in the Batbox so that we have that going while we continue to make more Industrialcraft machines. Geothermal generator. So that we could put buckets of lava in. We still have plenty of charcoal, so I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. Macerator. So this is another one like the Crusher, etc. It has a tendency to turn things into dust. The Crusher usually has a bit better. The Extra Utilities 2 Crusher tends to have a bit better yield in that it will not only double, but it will give you like a little side thing. So maybe you'll get a couple pieces of gold out of a stack of iron ore. But the Macerator, I think, does beat out the Crusher in a couple of recipes. So we're going to go ahead and definitely make that. And let's see. I might have to pause and get all our recipes together and craft that up. Don't have that yet. Yeah, so I'll have to make some insulated copper wire and some other stuff. But so I'll be right back when we have that Macerator built, and we'll get that plugged into our bank of Industrialcraft that we're running up the middle of the room. Be right back. All right, so we have made our Macerator, and I heard this thing go off while I was making it. So if we take a look at it, it is full of power and stopped burning charcoal, so that's good news. I wanted to make sure that this thing didn't just keep burning and losing power if it was full. And the Batbox is also full. So things are looking good there. And we've got our Macerator, so we're going to plop that down now too. Not 100% sure yet how these like to connect up. And where they input and output power. Sort of would like to go too high here, so we'll see if that does it. It's doing something. So I think it is sucking power out because this did kick on again, but we will play around with that. We'll move the machines around if we need to once we get the things we made, or things we need made. So now here's the book. You can claim for the Macerator and see what we got. Rainbow oak sapling. Alrighty. I've never been to the Twilight Forest, don't know anything about it, so that should be interesting. I did take a glance at it, and you saw how to make the little portal there. But I haven't required to go there yet, and I'm not sure if there's anything vastly important that I need there yet, so I've got plenty to do in the overworld still, so I'm putting that off. But maybe I'll plant that just to see what it looks like. So next we want to make the extractor. So we are going to need more rubber soon, and this apparently gets a better output, triple the output of resin. So we'll take a look at this and see if this is something that helps us out. But we're going to go ahead and make this, and that stuff is all pretty easy. I hope I made enough basic machine casings. I knew I would need a bunch. Yeah, I've still got 11 left. So I'm really glad that when I opened up the gate that required you build some basic machine casings, I went ahead and made quite a few of them because I knew I'd be using them up. So that's saving me some time now. So I'm going to put that together and we'll see what it does. Be right back. Alright, so we have our extractor. Again, I'm not exactly sure how these connect up well. Like for instance, I don't think it's pulling power. Yeah, it's not pulling power there. So I think this is also one of those ones where you have to use like a special wrench or something to break them, or you destroy the block. But I'm going to use my Silk Touch mining pick, which is sort of slow, so I should probably get a wrench, but whatevs. So let's see if we can put it in line here. Alright, that works. Sucking up power. And we get another loot chest. Enhanced building guide. I think I already have some of that. I don't know what it is, but now we got more of it. And now the all-important compressor. This gets used a lot in this mod pack. So what do we need? We need stone and another one of these. So that's not bad at all. Do I have enough left over? Yes, I do. So we'll bust that out real quick. Compressor. So we cut some of these into wire, and then we insulate them. Again, I'm not going to make you sit through all my crafting, but each of the mod packs has sort of their own little flavor of, you know, how they work through components and stuff. So it's sort of interesting just to see how some of this stuff is made. And then we got wire and an iron plate and some redstone to make this circuit, and then we are good to go. Excellent. Compressor. Loot chest. I'm about ready to be knocked off my feet by another really cool loot chest. I don't know about you guys. That ain't it. Yeah, it's always good to get speed upgrades though, so that'll be cool. So we'll put this bad boy down. Let's see if it works next to the Batbox. No. So the Batbox, I think it may only be able to output through this white hole in the front here. Not 100% sure. Like I said, I haven't actually used a lot of these in tech type mods before, and I haven't played Minecraft at all for a few years, so a lot of this is new to me. Will it transfer power down the line? No, it will not. So it looks like we've reached a point where we're going to have to do some wiring of things. So I think all of these wires that we've been building, like if we take a look at these, 128 EU per tick with a certain amount of loss if you run it too far. So do I have enough to make some more of these? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a few more of these, and oops, oh no, my rubber is over here. And I'm going to experiment with wiring this up. So if the Batbox only outputs through the front, which I think it might, we're going to want to turn it. And again, I might be able to turn it with a wrench, but honestly, it'll take me less time to just do this to make a wrench and figure it out. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to put it there. Did I empty it when I picked it up? Not completely. But it did something. Did it power something? I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's try attaching some wires to it and see what happens. Alright, so it's not outputting through there. Oh gosh darn it, I may as well just go ahead and make a wrench and see how that works. And I apologize for anybody who's already used Industrialcraft is like, dude, you're stupid, this is how you do it. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know. I never claimed to be an expert. I'm going through this expert pack to learn about a lot of these mods that I've never used before. So bear with me, or not. Set the machine facing, connect pipes together and to covers. We need a bunch of bronze. Do I have 6 bronze ingots? I do not believe that I do. I do. Alright, so I'm going to pause here because you guys are probably groaning in pain at this point. I'm going to pause here and figure out how to wire this bad boy instead of making you guys watch me fumble through it. And then I'll come back and we will continue on. Be right back. Okay, so I think I was right in that the all the other sides are input and the one with the white dot is output. And I think that you can use the wrench to change the facing. So I think if we do that, so I right clicked it in the side I wanted and that turned the output towards me. And now if I look at this, hey, it's got power. And that's got power. And that's taking power directly up through the bottom from the generator. And I also double checked, and when you break a Batbox, it only retains 80% of its power. So we are golden now. We have ourselves a bank of Industrialcraft machines. And so we also now have a compressor, which is used for a lot of different stuff. So the next thing we want to do is we will be making some advanced alloy almost immediately, so I'll do that when I need it. Something will take it soon. The blast furnace turns iron into steel. Well, that sounds sort of good. I don't currently have one set up something to do that, but I don't think I need steel right at the moment, so we'll worry about that in a bit. Electric furnace. I'm not too worried about that right at the moment. So I think that's as far as I need to go from. I would like to get an induction furnace, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. I'll make this soon, and when I do, I'll push on towards induction furnace. But I think that's probably going to do us for right this moment for Industrialcraft. We're definitely going to open up the rest of this stuff eventually, but for right now, I'm have a more pressing need for these two machines: the Metallurgic Infuser, which makes all of these enriched alloys and circuits, and the Enrichment chamber, which actually turns, like normal redstone into compressed redstone that then feeds into the Metallurgic Infuser, so that all of this fuel for your Metallurgic Infuser is much more efficient. So these two machines are next on our list. So let's get moving on those. What's all the blurb say? Can infuse various materials with coal, redstone, diamond, obsidian, or biofuel. It's the main crafting components throughout Mekanism. You're going to need tons of circuits and alloys, so craft in bulk. Yep. I would agree with that statement. And what do we need to build this? Steel casings, hopefully, if my normal... yeah, so I did build ahead. I got 3 of those. So when I built steel casings, it might have only taken 1 to open the gate, but I built 3 of them because I knew I would need at least a couple real quick. And the external heaters. So I'll need to... I think I'm going to need to make a bunch of copper wires. So I will be back when we've done that. Or maybe I'll put them through the metal press. Yes. Sweet. So I haven't shown how to change this yet. So I've got my spare molds over here in the output box. And basically I just click it right up there and it changes it out. And then again, I use plates the most. So I sort of keep that in my hand so I remember to change it back. So then we're going to need, how many of these are we going to need for the, what is it I'm trying to make? Trying to make the Metallurgic Infuser, which requires an external heater, which requires this. So we're going to need 8 of these, which means we're going to need 8 recipes of this. Which means we're going to need 32 copper wires. That's a lot of copper wires. But we get 2 per ingot, so we need 16 ingots of copper. So I'll grab 16 ingots of copper, and if my math coprocessor is correct, so it is slowing down, so it is using power a bit faster than our little nuclear power plant can do it there, but that's fine. I'll probably end up throwing some sort of energy cell or capacitor up there, both to store extra energy from that plutonium RTG, and then also to add a buffer so that we don't slow down due to energy loss or energy choke on that bad boy. Oh, and you notice I kept my plate thing here in my hand, and that's because I really like to do that so that I don't accidentally make wire when I want to make plates the next time I run over there. So let's see if we got enough to do all this junk now. How many did we need? Did I way over make this stuff? Probably. Yes, I way overmade, but I know I'm going to need more of those, so that's okay. And 3 copper ingots. Okay, so we got one of those. And boom, we got one of these. Now we're over into Mekanism, and Mekanism works on RF, so we can plug that in to our bank of stuff coming out of RF, coming out of our Immersive Engineering thermoelectric plant here. So I think I still have my wire and connectors in my backpack. Yes. Shift click and gonna throw some wire on that. And we've got power. 8,000 of 8,000. Pick up my torch. Put those away. So how this bad boy works is that you put the thing you want to infuse in this red spot, and then you put the thing you're infusing it with, like redstone or charcoal or some, or coal or something there, and then it chugs out to there. And then upgrades can go in here. We do have a bunch of upgrades for Mekanism, I think, lying around. So we're going to have 2 Mekanism machines coming online here. We're going to have this Metallurgic Infuser and also the Enrichment Chamber. I happen to have 8 and 8 of the speed and energy. Just for kicks and giggles. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. But you put it in up here, and then it sort of downloads in. And then I'm going to put those in there and download these in, and you can take these back out again. So it will take energy, it will take a muffling one. I don't mind the noise too bad on these. Mekanism does tend to be a bit noisy, but so far the only one that's really bothered me is the advanced solar generator. The electric hum, that zzz, is just awful. It grates on me like fingernails on a chalkboard. So we're going to claim our thing here. Take a look at what we got. An ender chest. I've never had an ender chest, but now I do. So we'll have to figure out what that does. I haven't been using them because they aren't really necessarily any better than my backpacks, but I do have some ender sacks that I've got in my backup inventory. So this is that backup inventory opened up by Cyclic, I believe it was, where you can swap your hotbar. So now I can use the ender sacks and then swap them back. So I've had them there for sort of emergency backup storage. I think they might interact with an ender chest, or I don't know, maybe they're just portable ender chests. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. So let's keep moving. The last thing we were really hoping to get done today was the enrichment chamber. And so we're going to need... Now we can actually make these green things here. And they're a little less fussy to make. You can make them pretty quick. Just an osmium ingot and some redstone. So what we're seeing here is that we are infusing an osmium ingot with redstone. You can use for fuel to power up this. It needs 10 redstone. That's, I think, going to be either 10 pieces of redstone, but you can get this compressed redstone in the enrichment chamber that we are trying to make, and you can make it. You can make your redstone last longer. So we could do our first one here in the Metallurgic Infuser, since we have that now. We need 2 of them. Do I have osmium ingots? I may have used up all my osmium. I did. How am I doing on osmium ore? I don't think I have a lot. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way. So I'll do this the Industrialcraft 2 circuit, and I'll be right back after I cut a bunch of cover wire and do all that garbage. Okay, I went through the Industrialcraft version of the circuits and made the enrichment chamber. And so we're going to plop this bad boy down. And we're going to wire it up with the MV connectors and the insulated MV wire coil. Probably doesn't require MV. I probably could be getting away with LV, but what the heck. Better safe than sorry when it comes to wire gauge. That's my theory. And 8,000 of 8,000 FE, so we are cooking. And now we can go ahead and just real quick, I want to, while I'm thinking about it, make a bunch of that fuel. So one of the things we're going to be making here, we're going to add those upgrades to it because we got some of those. 4 energy and 4 speed. So I want to see how these work out, because I know these machines, these Mekanism machines, don't start out very fast. And if you just put in speed, then it ramps up the energy use a lot. And next thing you know, you're sucking energy like a fiend. Alright, so now we got a bunch of that. And I'm going to go ahead and see if we can... Alright, so the speed there is fine. We're making compressed redstone for use in stuff. I want to take a look at my capacitor. Power supply is keeping up with the capacitor. And the capacitor is keeping up with the buffer on the enrichment chamber. So I think we're still doing perfectly fine for power. Pretty soon I'll start running multiples of these machines together at once, and again I'll want to keep an eye on the power, make sure we have plenty of it. So yeah, these will be the fuel. These compressed redstones will now go into the purple slot here on the Metallurgic Infuser. So when we want to infuse something in the red spot, we'll be using the fuel there. So you slap that in. This is one of those cases where you can overspend. So like I think one of these is worth I don't know, maybe like 4 to 8 redstone. So you want to sort of take a look at the recipes. If we look at the recipes here, so like when we're turning an electrum ingot into a redstone circuit, it requires 160 redstone. So you want to sort of get a gauge for how much redstone to put in there so that you don't overspend. Because I think the only way to get it, like if you have a bunch of leftover redstone, but now you want to use diamond as your infuser, I think you end up wasting redstone. Ooh, that's the other thing we can do now is we can put carbon source, so I still have tons of charcoal. We can make enriched. We can take an iron bar, an iron ingot. We can enrich it with charcoal to get enriched charcoal, and then we can enrich that again by putting even more carbon into it, more coal, and make steel blend. So we are no longer dependent on immersive engineering and the coal coke and the blast furnace for making our steel, because then the steel blend can be smelted into steel ingots. So that's good. I'm not going to have to put that bad boy up again. So that's going to last me a ton of time for compressed redstone. Yeah, so that'll be good. And when we start getting into infusing some stuff, we will take a look at how that all works. That was also able to give us, let's see, we can claim for the enrichment chamber, and we can claim for the compressed redstone. And got a flexible casing. I think that's used if we start setting up automated forestry farms. And hey, we get a loot chest for that. We will take it. I don't think I need to set up an automated farm of anything quite yet, but transformer upgrade, increase energy input tier by 1. I think I like that. I'll have to read up on that and see if I need to throw it in one of these bad boys. And then we had one more, yes. Mending moss. Don't really need that, but it's free, so who cares? Alright, so that sort of covers us for today. We made some good progress on Mekanism. Got 2 of the key machines that we need. This machine will make all of this stuff, and this machine will make all of this stuff, and that's pretty easy. So we will probably power through these and get another several loot chests out of that real quick and easy. We can now make Mekanism steels. That's good. We are on the path to making our own Osglow glass and refined obsidian and glowstone, which means that we are on the path towards getting a glowstone. I think it's the laser medium that I want for a laser gun from Tinker's Construct. So I need to figure out how to make a charge pad and see if we have the stuff to do that next, because then we can actually start charging armor and laser guns and scanners and things like that, and then we can get real serious. And we're getting really technologically advanced. So the thing we've been waiting for, we've had steel, stone pressure plates are easy. The thing we've been waiting for are the enriched alloy. And the enriched alloy we can now make with our brand new Metallurgic Infuser. So probably what we'll do next time is go ahead and push down this. We will go ahead and infuse some iron ingot with redstone to make some enriched alloy, and we'll make a charge pad and get that set up. And that then puts us in a position to start being really interested in getting ourselves a laser gun, which we'll now be able to charge, and also some better armor, like oh, it's downstairs, like some flux infused armor, and getting it enchanted up. So I have one piece of the flux infused armor, but so we can take a look at that. Maybe I don't. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll get us some good armor, whether it's nano suit or flex infused, something that holds an RF charge, so that instead of having to repair it, you just have to keep it charged, because that's easy peasy. And once we have some good stuff there that we like, we'll try and throw some enchantments on it. I don't think nano suit will take an enchantment, but the flux infused stuff will. And we'll go in and upgrade our armor, because we're still wearing iron. Just plain old iron, not even enchanted iron. What can I say? I'm a builder. I'm a Minecrafter, not a warrior. Okay, so good stuff. I'm babbling at this point, and we're probably over my 30-minute target, so we're going to call this an end right now. We will push on towards making more Mekanism doodads and a charge pad, and then things to charge in the very near future. So we're going to push on through the rest of Mekanism here in this corner. And then, depending on how our power holds out, we might also start pushing into maybe a biogenerator. I want to make an advanced solar generator, probably to throw out at my cattle ranch, and maybe some wind generators for upstairs if I start chugging into power. If I start, having not quite enough power going from this setup, we might set up some power upstairs too for other things. But yeah, that's what's coming up, and I will talk to you later. Bye.